Hi, welcome to Down the Track on InView TV. My name's Bruce Mott, I'm your host, and on today's episode, we continue our story on Jordan White from the Jordan White Racing Team. On our last episode, we made the announcement that Jordan White was going to go racing in the ASBK this year. He has a brand new Yamaha R7 and he was hoping to do 3 to 4 rounds. Unfortunately, things haven't worked out as the way he was planning, so let's bring Jordan on and find out what's been going on. Is he going to be racing the ASBK and what his plans are for the remainder of the year and possibly for next year? Let's bring on Jordan now. Hi Jordan, welcome to Down the Track on InView TV. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Bruce. Getting ready for the next couple of rides coming up and, trying to work through with what we got at the moment.
It's been a while since we last spoke. In the intro, I mentioned the plans for you this year was to race in the ASBK. You've got a brand new Yamaha R7 that you're going to develop and race in 3 or 4 rounds around the country. Unfortunately, things haven't turned out like you hoped. From what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong in this, is that there wasn't a commitment from the organisers to a series because there wasn't enough riders. And there wasn't a commitment from the riders because there wasn't a confirmed series. So it's like a bit of the chicken and the egg sort of thing. Am I right in saying that?
So yeah, as you mentioned, that hasn't been a commitment to the series from ASBK, mainly due because they didn't have any riders didn't have enough riders saying that we're going to be there every round, day in, day out, to be there and to constitute a class. But then, as you said, it's a bit of a catch-22 because a lot of the riders weren't going there because ASBK hadn't confirmed that there was going to be a class for them. So obviously, with all the time and money it takes to get over east, and even for people on the east coast that have to travel up and down, it's a lot of time and money, and you really want to know there's going to be a class there for you. And yeah, a lot of people don't end up going because they don't want to take the risk of spending that money and time.
Well, hopefully it can be sorted out. It might be too late for this year, but at least for next year, a series is committed to by the organisers, and then the racers can prepare for that. And as you said, lots of logistics to get to these rounds, and there's got to be a commitment from both sides, the organisers and the racers. So you couldn't do ASBK, so plan B, stay in WA, race at Collie, race at Cargo in Wanneroo, and develop the bike. Complete delivery, which will show everyone what it looks like soon. It looks fantastic. But develop the bike over the next 12 months. And as I said, race at Wanneroo and race at Collie. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work out either. There's a dispute, for want of a better word, between Wanneroo Raceway and the council regarding insurance premiums. There's been a hike in the premium, and there's an impact there. And the end result at the moment is that there's no racing at Wanneroo. So that's really unfortunate for all the members, for the club, and all that who, no fault of their own, can't race at the moment. So then that's put you in a spot where it leaves you with Collie. So you've been racing at Collie when you can. You're trying to develop the bike. As I said, you completed delivery. So let's show everyone what it looks like, and you can talk us through what you've been doing when you have the chance to race at Collie. First of all, the bike looks fantastic. Yeah, I love the colours. When I last saw it, it was just blue. It's now you've added the red and the white. So how did you come up with this colour scheme?
So yeah, the plan all along was to put a base color down and then sticker over the top. And coming up with the color, as you can see with the red on there, there's a lot of talking to Andrew Biffin from Go Moto with how he wanted to design the bike and represent all the sponsors on there. So with that, we sort of decided with the Go Moto colors, we'll put some red on there to make it seem like it's the representation of it. And then from there, it was just got some vinyl, and then Andrew Crystal from Go Moto and the parents were in their shed, and just you sort of put it up against it, and you're like, oh, could we go here? Or then you think about it, and then you put it on a different spot on a different angle, and then eventually we ended up with the design that was there with all the red vinyl and pinstriping, and it looks really good, and really happy with how it looks.
It looks fantastic, and as you said, the way it works in with sponsor logos, Go Moto and all that is look really great. So here we got some footage now. You're on the track. This is a practice, and I haven't seen this view of the camera before. This is new. This is fantastic. I love it that you're giving us this view, but You didn't do it solely for us. I believe you put the camera there because you wanted to learn a bit more about what was happening with suspension. So before you talk us through a lap of the track, did you learn what you wanted to with the suspension in that camera shot?
So yeah, the idea was if we put the camera there, we'd be able to watch the travel of the suspension and how it reacts in the corners. And we learnt a lot from it, really. We learnt that the problem that we were chasing, we've sort of resolved. But then in doing so, we've created like another problem, if that makes sense. So we done that, and we got a lot of information from it, and it's all just part of deciphering it now and, you know, planning ahead for the next few changes that we want to do. And yeah, this video is from the HCMC, Historics Motorcycle Club at Collie, and they were running the short track, which is the track that they ran previously to the Collie Long Circuit, which is a really fast lap time, only roughly 40 seconds. So you go on around and around, and it's good to learn because there's lots of hard braking zones there, being such some tight corners, which is a place that we really wanted to try and improve the bike and how I rode it in there. And yeah, it was good because you get in so many laps and it happens so quickly. You can come in, you can remember everything, and yeah, it was a good weekend and got a lot from it.
Will this mean that you'll, given that you've learned putting the camera there, it's helped you learn about suspension, that you may now look at putting a camera somewhere else and learn a bit other areas of the bike?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's very hard when you're riding to be able to feel exactly what component of the bike's doing what, because there's a lot of different variables, and it can even just be yourself doing something different that makes the bike feel off or odd. So yeah, you can put it in a lot of positions, ones that to see what you're doing, as in your body positioning. You can do it to see what the suspension's doing and things like that. And it's a cool insight because we're changing so much with the bike at the moment, putting on some new parts on them like suspension and you know, electronics, thanks to Alex at Road to Race Motorcycles for the help. So there's lots of variables changing, and we just wanted to get a clear view of what's happening in one section of the bike and work with that.
And so how has the progress been going? How many times have you ridden the bike in race trims at the moment?
So every time I've ridden the bike so far, it's had different components added on slowly. So I've never ridden the bike twice in the same form, but yeah, it's going on really good. We've done a couple of rides with it now with suspension, and just every time's getting a little bit better and improving in separate zones, and won't be long before the bike's feeling really good and I'm happy with it in everywhere.
And when are you back on the track again?
The next event is coming up in a couple of weeks, and it'll be down at Collie with MCRC.
Okay, so what is the plans for the rest of the year? And then looking forward, are you hoping to then to next year race the ASBK that you couldn't do this year? So first of all, for the rest of this year, what's the plans?
So I think the main goal for the rest of this season is to obviously improve the bike, obviously ride it as much as I can and do the best that I can with it there. And then that, you know, well, second to that is focus on the MCRC here with state rounds and all the events they're putting on down at Collie to make up for the time lost with Carco. And then, yeah, just really focus on Collie, and then hopefully by the end of this year, the Carco Raceway situation should be resolved and head back to Carco. And obviously just the simple things, you know, just get better as a rider and improve every time you go out and have fun.
All right, and for next year?
So for next year, obviously we're going to try go over East and do the ASBK series, which would, you know, be a cool experience to be able to do it for a whole season and not just rock up, you know, and just try to figure things out and play it by ear. So yeah, we've got to try go over East, develop the bike continuously, and yeah, and focus on over East and then 600s here in WA as well.
Well, good luck with that. Hopefully there'll be a series. The organisers will get together and commit to a series, and then you as a rider and the team can commit to it and prepare logistically, because it is a lot to work through. It's a very expensive, very time consuming, time away from work, time away from school, and lots of money spent to make that commitment to the full championship. So let's hope that comes to fruition. But meanwhile, this year, continue developing the bike. It's been great to hear what's been happening. Has been a while. The bike looks fantastic. Can't wait to see it live sometime later in the year. I hope to be back in WA and see you racing live again. Okay, Jordan, before we go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, of course, I'd like to thank my sponsors and being Go Moto Store for all the help building the bike and making it what it is now with all the buy of them is a really big help, and even at the track support with all the with the crew and them being there to help me and further the bike's really good. I'd like to thank Five Star obviously for the bike. It's a big help, and being a part of what they do in the road racing industry is really cool, and it's a big help having them behind me. Obviously, Alex from Road to Race Motorcycles for getting in some key components for the bike and being able to add them on there and being a really big help. It's really important in getting the bike better as we go. Obviously, Track Action as well for being the only event for bikes at Carco during this time of the Carco dry spell. Really, it's really important that they're still running events there, and it's good that we still be able to go there even if we're not racing, just to ride around and practice. And yeah, Speedfit as well for keeping me fit in the off season and everything they do to keep me in tip top shape, and obviously InView TV as well for the continued help and support.
Well, thanks, Jordan, and thanks to all those supporters of your team. They certainly make such a difference. Without them, Five Star Yamaha and Go Moto and all those other supporters that you mentioned, without them, there would be no race team. So thank you to them. Thanks for being on the show, Jordan. It's been great to catch up again, to learn what's happening. You couldn't quite do plan A or plan B, but plan C seems to be working for you. You're developing the bike. It looks absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see it back on the track again. Thanks for joining us on InView TV, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks, Jordan.
My pleasure, Bruce. Chat soon.